My life is about living his story, I call it. I don't wish it on anyone. And I can honestly say I don't know if I would want to live it all over again. But I have lived it, and I've tried to live it as well as I could. After being carried from the ambulance into the hospital in my dad's arms, because by that time I was completely immobile, the three neurologists, top neurologists in the state, began to work on me. And they came out a little before midnight that night and told my mom and dad I wouldn't live through the night. I have a very vivid memory, and that memory was of my father kneeling beside that bed and praying to God and saying, you've given me a son for 6 years, and I give that son back to you. I learned to start dragging myself with my arms, and that was big steps for me. Those were giant steps, to be able to actually move my body. And my mom and dad had absolutely no clue what I was doing back there then. They had no clue that I was trying to walk again. There were thousands of falls, but I eventually got to where I could shuffle my feet, so to speak, drag them. I have very vivid memories of walking by glass windows and looking at myself and not liking the picture that I see. I dealt with the anger through a unique way. At the age of 32, I tried to do something that I had not been able to do since I was 6 years old, and I went out one day with the goal of trying to jog a block, and I actually made it very slowly, and then I walked and huffed and puffed another block, and then I jogged another block. And over a period of a few months, I got up to where I could run a mile without stopping. I set a goal to do a 10K, which was a 6.2 mile run, and I did, and I finished about halfway in the pack, so I was encouraged. You know, here I'm back to setting goals all over again in my life, so now I'm beginning to be driven, much like it was in the early days. So the distance had changed from 6 or 8 shuffles to 6 miles. We went to Fort Worth, Texas, and ran the Cowtown Marathon on a Saturday. And on our way back to Arkansas, which was home at the time, we decided to do something crazy and just spend the night in the car and run the Arkansas Marathon the next morning, which is kind of unheard of in marathon running. Typically, you maybe run 2 or 3 a year. And I actually ran the next day 18 minutes faster than I did the day before. So my friends introduced me to ultra running. And there were no shoes available for me to put on to fit my feet, but I was so determined to finish that 50 miler, I ran that last 16 miles barefooted on the asphalt.